Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to share a few things that have happened to me recently. One of those things being I have moved. I have moved from the United States to Canada. And today's video is some of the differences between Canada and the United States. So why am I doing this video? Okay, well, one, it has been a million years since I've posted anything on YouTube. But secondly, I just felt like a lot more Americans, I'm going to say, no offense to my American, if any of you who are watching are American. I feel like a lot of Americans are like, well, there's really no difference between Canada and the U.S. Like, we're just kind of the same. And there are a lot of strong similarities, but then there are also a lot of strong differences. And so what I wanted to focus on today were some of those differences. Now, I have spent almost equal amount of time living in both countries. I lived in Canada for 20 years, and then I lived in the United States for 18 and a half. So almost exactly half of my life has been spent in both countries. So what took me to the United States? School. I had graduated from community college from the town I had lived in. And then I decided it just wasn't enough. I wanted more. Here it's really, really difficult, or it was back in the 90s, to get into university. And so most of my grades were pretty good, but it just wasn't good enough. And so I decided there were some really good colleges in the United States, actually St. Louis, Missouri, that I really liked. And so I moved down to Missouri, and that's where my journey really began. And I really enjoyed my time there. I had spent quite a few years in that area, and then I had gotten a job after school in the East Coast and had a blast on the East Coast. Absolutely loved it. And then I had gotten, I don't want to say, like, basically set up by a friend that I had known in St. Louis, and then she knew my husband, and so she set us up, and I ended up moving out to the Midwest once again. And so after I got married, I had children, and it was really after I had children. Up until then, I really had no desire to move back to Canada. I loved Canada. I loved being Canadian, but really I was finding more and more that I just loved being in the United States, and I just thought I was basically gonna be American, and that's where I was gonna die. And after I had my kids, which is several years ago, I had that need to be back with my family and to be just around familiar things, and to start to kind of like share with them some of my cultural things, which is not big, but just like skiing and skating, like some winter sports. But anyways, there's just a lot of different things that I just wanted to share and pass on to my kids, but I want to do that. And all of my family is in Canada, and most of them are kind of living around the same area. And I just thought, you know what, within this past year, my husband and I were just thinking the time is right. Our kids are still young. My parents are getting a little bit older, and it was just the right time, and everything just sort of fell into place. So here we are, which brings me to why I'm doing this video. After moving here, I was like, I've only been here a few months, and I'm thinking, holy cow, there's a lot of differences between Canada and the United States. And so I wanted to share a few of those things, 7 actually of those things, with you. So let's get started. Okay, difference number 1, gas prices. It's almost double what it is where I was living at. I understand the United States is a very big country, so gas prices are even going to differ within each state, from state to state, or from area to area. Like East Coast, West Coast is probably a little bit more expensive. However, we pay, when I first moved here, it was $1.38 a liter, which is almost $6 a gallon, thereabouts. And when I had left the Midwest, it was like $2.49 a gallon or $2.39 a gallon, something crazy and cheap. It was amazing. Obviously, several years ago, the gas prices were much higher in the United States, but that's basically what we pay all the time. Yay! So that's one difference. The second difference is our milk. Our milk comes in bags and not the gallon jugs. And I wanted to bring you along with me and show you what our Milky Milk and the Funky Bunch looks like. Okay. Ta-ta-ta-ta. Milk. And I'm trying to bring it up. There it is. And this is this very fancy milk bag holder that most households actually have. So that's what our milk looks like. And it comes in a big bag of 3 of those little 1 liter smaller bags, which is kind of interesting because I thought like Canada is so big on like recycling and just being very earth conscientious, which they are very much, but, or I should say we are, because I'm Canadian too, right? So we are, but I just feel like it's kind of a waste. Like that's a lot of plastic. 3 little plastic bags in 1 big plastic bag. Anyways, a little bit of a contradiction there. Okay, number 3, the metric system. We do not do miles, we do kilometers, and things are measured in centimeters, weight in kilograms, things like that. But because we're close enough to the border, we're only like an hour and a half from the border. I still do feel like people understand if I'm talking in miles or Celsius and Fahrenheit. That's a big one. I'm like, man, it feels like it's 100 degrees outside. And that's when people are like, what are you talking about? But yeah, so anyways, that's kind of a big difference. Number 4, parking lots. They're parking lots, at least in my little neck of the woods here. They don't have angled parking. It's just, you just park wherever you want. Well, I mean, you know, that's nice. It's nice until like somebody is coming up that lane, you know. In the United States, like we have arrows, right? It tells you like, go down this way. So when you pull in, you just face that way. And then if you have to park in a different direction, you have to swing around and go in the lane, the next lane over, right? And here it's just so different. You just park wherever you want, but the spaces are really narrow and it just kind of causes more of a traffic jam, I find. It's less flow. So anyways, the parking lots just definitely, I don't understand. Okay, number 5, money. Our money looks way different. I would show you the difference, but I don't have any cash because here everyone uses their cards. So when you do see cash, it's very plasticky looking. It actually even has like a clear plastic strip down it. Yeah, just it looks really weird. And in the United States, most of it is green, unless you have some of those big fat bills, and then those are different colors, which I've never seen. Okay, number 6, recycling. So I kind of touched on it for like a second. We recycle. And we have to pay to take out trash. The garbage does come, they still collect it once a week. In the West Coast in Canada, they only collect trash every other week. And they do call it garbage. But I use both terms because I am both. I am American and Canadian. So at least I like to think of myself as American. But anywho. Also, you have to sort your recycling. You sort it for them. So you don't just clump it all together. It has to be paper, plastic, cardboard has to be wrapped in twine. It's so complicated. So complicated. Anyways, our 1 bag of garbage in my neighborhood is $2.50 per bag. In the next town over, it's $3. It was $2.50, but then they upped it. So $3 per bag of trash. Then with that, I wanted to mention one other thing that I noticed a lot here in Canada. Although they pride themselves on being so clean and we just recycle in the earth and blah, blah, blah. The thing is that people don't always want to pay $3 to throw out a bag of trash. So what do I see? Bags of trash and shoved in bushes, like thrown on the side of the road. So it's really disgusting. And then another like small thing that had to do with the garbage, which I know some of you really don't care, but it's just something that I noticed, is that if you go to McDonald's or a gas station, their little trash bins are overflowing because people, again, they don't want to pay $3 to take out their garbage, so they'll put it in little Walmart bags and then they drop it off at fast food joints or Tim Hortons or like wherever. So anywhere you go, trash bins are like overflowing. It's just disgusting, and there's flies everywhere, and it's just nasty. Like, come on, lower the price of trash, people. Anyways, taxes. So huge difference in taxes here. Property taxes are actually about the same, but sales tax. We pay 13% here. A lot of other states pay 6%, 8%, but I don't think I've ever seen anything above 8%. So sales tax here is pretty, it's a lot. It is a lot. Okay, and then the biggest, that was 7. That was number 7. And then I could touch about healthcare, but I just don't feel like opening up that can of worms. So there's just pros and cons to everything. I do love being back here. I feel so happy. There's just something that no matter where you're from, when you go home and you just have like a peace. I can't even explain it other than you just feel so much peace being at home and going back to your roots, I guess I'll say. So anyways, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. But either way, comment below. Tell me what you think. And if you have any more differences that you notice between the two countries, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.